Hey, it's your boy Elder Rich here, and you're watching Envy's channel. Play the clip, Envy.
What's up, guys? It's Envy. Now we're back for another episode of Sit Down with Envy. Today, my guest is Bucking Fasturd, used to be known as The Amplifier, and before that, Bucking Fasturd. But he's reverted back to, tried and true. What's up?
Hey man, what's going on? Yeah, so like we started as Bucking, went to Amp, and then I think it was following a stream on Papa Pike. I think Papa Pike did a stream, and I think he commented about something to do with bringing Bucking back. And I had a
Yeah.
thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Let's go back to the original. So here we are.
Look, man, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Fair enough.
That's why my champion pool hasn't changed in 4 years.
Good to hear.
Right, so we'll kick it off. Tell the people a bit about yourself if they don't know who you are.
Awesome. So, as you may know, Bucking Fasted, actual name's Varaf, or you can call me V. Work-wise, I work as a strata manager, so I fly back and forth from Australia to New Zealand. Outside of obviously work, I love to play League, do a bit of streaming myself, arcades, food, good stuff over there, and then like to keep active and whatnot. But yeah, it's just a bit of a quick intro to me.
Quick info. Yeah, I mean, New Zealand is better than Australia, in my personal opinion. I think you would agree.
I reckon comparing the two places, Melbourne specifically is quite similar to New Zealand,
Yeah,
but I think New Zealand is just better living conditions. Australia's a bit like packed and it's
it's
more
more,
apartment style living. Yeah.
it's more dense, right?
Yeah, that's the word.
Whereas we've got a lot more open land and there's actually heaps and heaps of green.
And there's more water here as opposed to there.
Yeah, right. How'd you get into the iron to gold / iron to plat scene?
That is a very good question. So I believe I was a support main at the time, just spamming Leonid solo queue. And then one day I got a message from I don't remember who it was, but I basically got a message saying, "Hey man, you want to play mid lane for a team?" And I think this was just when the first lockdown happened around
Yeah,
2020.
so everyone was
Uh,
playing the game.
yeah, pretty much. I was actually gonna stop playing League and switch over to more Valorant, but then that message came up. I gave it a go, started playing mid lane, and then um I guess now I just really enjoyed League for that, tournament competitive scene, taking
Yeah.
the game to the next level. So yeah.
Now, do you remember the team name of that? Because I was
I
thinking
think
back and I was
I
like,
think it was Ardor Amber. That was the first team.
oh, yeah, 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 okay, yes, that monstrosity of a roster.
But I don't even know anything about mid lane back then. But all I remember is what is it? Good old Elderidge, super nice guy,
Uh, the super
easy
top,
to get along with.
because Elderidge, he is arguably probably one of my favorite players ever in Iron to Gold.
Yeah,
He
he's a good dude.
because Ardor used to be 52F, as in like 52 like spades or some bullshit, right? When
Oh
like
yeah,
Threat made the org,
yep.
and I kid you not, his first tournament game, Elderidge was playing top lane. He was off rolled. They had a support main mid, and my top jungle, which was Hirogi Trashcan at the time. It's actually
Mm.
on. It was my favorite clip. They just camp him. He dies 3 times in 6 minutes, and
Well,
by 12 minutes
that's,
he's 0-7. So
well,
that's
that's one way to start a lead, playing to
it's
your plan.
uh
I guess back then it was all like oblivious to us, what's a game plan, what's this, what's that. But
yeah.
as time's gone on by, things have changed a lot.
Well,
So
I
yeah,
mean, iron sharpens iron, right? Like,
yep.
as people continue to, let's say hypothetically, sandbag, the other players, if they can take losing a lot, right, and like heaps and heaps of losing, because I know a lot of people, they'll come sign up to one event, they'll randomly match into arguably the best team, they'll lose, and then they'll never come back.
And that's the thing. I'm kind of different. I kind of feel more motivated to come back and do better.
Yeah,
But that's just me.
you got the drive to beat them.
I think that was the first time I ever actually went back and looked on a game, and I realized there's so many things I was doing wrong. And
Yeah,
that's how I've like learned and improved. So I was like hard stuck gold, and then I finally hit plat last season. So
yeah,
happy days.
yeah, man. It's hard because like I'm finding it this season, solo queue to fives is so different.
Mm.
Like I went from a champion pool of Malzahar, Oriana, Cassiopeia, Corki, and then solo queue. None of those work because everybody's like, oh, they've never seen a fight they don't like in solo queue.
Yeah, 100. I think the best way to summarize solo queue is what do you call it? Basically imagine a bunch of dudes running around like headless chickens chasing kills.
Yes, yeah, team deathmatch is great fun sometimes.
Yeah,
I
that's the one.
I watched the Plat 4 game this morning, and I was like, bro, why is there 8 kills in fucking 4 minutes?
I remember I was in like a 140 kill game once. It lasted about
Oh,
an hour. Actually, no, I think it was more than an hour, but that was good times as well. But I think
man,
the biggest difference between solo queue and comp is those small mistakes, and the macro game just becomes so much more important.
yeah,
Like little mistakes you would have made in solo queue will get capitalized on in comp, especially if you're going up against a team that's been playing together for a while.
yeah.
So
You overextend, you are getting ganked, right? Like,
yeah,
you overextend in solo queue. The jungler might dislike something the mid laner said and, start the game, so he's not going to gank the lane. You don't do that in fives because even if you don't like your teammate, you're still, you're on the same page because you want to win the game.
yeah, I guess. But then eventually, you'll get to a point where like the team will probably disband. I
Yeah.
think that one of the most important things is, I think that was one of your questions you were gonna ask me, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll save that one a little bit down the
Yeah,
line,
all
right?
good. No worries. We'll get into that later.
um, well, we'll ask this question then, right? Because I don't remember your first interaction with myself, right?
Yeah,
Do
I'm trying to
you?
remember as well.
I remember the one where I think we were playing. I was playing with the wheel spin team, and it was like Brains and Hirogi Trash Can,
Yeah.
and like Ulti, and you were subbing in. So you subbed in game one because I was at work, and then I
Uh
come back, right? And I think they sub out Ulti because he was a little bit of a liability, won't lie.
huh.
And I come back, and I kid you not, you're like, why can't I play mid? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, bro, I swear I just saw you run it down on stream, and you want to play mid lane still.
Yeah.
So I gave it to you, right?
Uh
And
huh.
then I'm playing Brand, and I'm having the time of my life because Shiny was an absolute beast at the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, those are some names I haven't heard in a long time.
he got old.
And decided to just leave. He
Yeah,
was too much for him. Get back into
basically,
the real
man.
world.
Yeah. So I think
That's fair enough.
I think that was my first like team experience with you.
Yeah.
But as I touched on before, before we start recording, pretty much every single time I'd see you on the enemy team, it's like, oh, how early do I have to pick Nico just to take it from you,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a level of disrespect, in my opinion, by taking your main champion and then slapping you with it, right? And
Mm.
I always found it fun to do it to people if I could play the champion, right?
Yeah.
I'm not playing Akali into an Akali main because I can't play Akali. I don't have the hands for
Nah, that's fair enough. But I feel like as time's gone on by, like I've kind of shied away from the Nico, especially with that durability patch. I
it.
feel
Yeah,
like she's gone a lot weaker as well. Even though like guides and stuff say she's S tier, I feel like it could work, but there's just better picks out there. So yeah,
yeah, man. Like Syndra.
yeah. Does that bring back some memories? Was it? I forgot the name of the team. But there was that one Ari game, and as I mentioned earlier, all I remember
Yeah,
was sitting in a bush mid game and just
I
full
I think
comboing
it
you.
was
Yeah.
it would have been like maybe like 3 months ago or something,
Mm.
right? Um, I might have been on Vespertine Guardians, but I've hopped so many teams, and I think I think you've hopped a couple too from time to time. I haven't really been
Mhm.
keeping up to date, at least of recently.
Yeah, so I would have started on Ardor, and then I think it was that Ocelot's team was the next one after that, and then
Yeah,
from there I
because you
think I went
had
to Revolt. There was a
oh
lot of
unlucky.
yeah, there was a lot of drama over there. I didn't really like their org. They weren't really nice people. They like lied to my face a lot, so I
Yeah,
left that. Others may argue that I got kicked out, but the I guess the other side of the story was I called someone out on a lie and I just left because I don't want to. I don't like drama and I don't like people that lie. So
yeah,
that was that. And then after that, I went on to one of the GGG teams. So I managed a team called Storm.
yeah.
Thereafter, I tried out for Kraken first time round. It didn't make it because I think Lorda, if people know the name, Lorda, really good mid laner. I wasn't that experienced at the time, so they picked him over me, and I wasn't really interested in subbing back then. So there was that, and then I think there was one or two more teams after that, and then I basically came back to Kraken after
Yeah.
Lorda left, and I've just been playing on the team ever since.
Yeah, because
So yeah.
I played for Kraken for a little bit, right?
Yep.
Not too long.
Mhm.
But as bad as this might sound, and like love Kaneki, he's a great guy, but I just didn't think. So here's how I think of Iron to Platinum to Gold, right? I think I'm good enough to win, but I need teammates around that same level, and if I don't think the teammates are performing, right? Because what ends up happening is I just get every ban like thrown at me, and I get fucking camped in the game, and it tilts me to oblivion.
Mm.
Um, so I actually function if I'm the worst player on a good team, right? Because so that would take me back to like the Sonic Boom times. Admittedly,
Mm.
the environment was like very toxic. Because even if the mistake isn't mine, because arguably worst player, I get the mistake thrown at me.
No, people are
Um,
yeah, not a fan of that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not the nicest of feelings.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put up with that to be honest. I'd just walk out instantly.
I like winning,
Yeah.
so it's you have to weigh it up, right? You have to weigh up the how much do you want to win to how much of the toxic environment can you handle
I mean, yeah, that's
because
one way to look at it, but like I think I mean like you do you, man, but I think for me personally, like I'm big on like respect. If I don't get that respect,
yeah
I don't want to associate myself with you because like yeah. I prefer to get along with like-minded people. Like if you're toxic, if you're cocky, cocky's cool and I guess in the spirit of the game, but I guess there's a limit to everything, right? Where it
yeah
just becomes plain annoying and you don't want to put up with it. So that's just me personally.
look, I've always been arrogant inside of the game.
Yeah.
um you I think I've reined back some of the aggressiveness inside of the game, like with the like because at some point you have to take the nameplate off and be like, oh, I'm playing into this matchup, I'm not playing into this guy, right?
Yeah.
Because I've played a game where I played into a Silver 4 support main playing mid. He picked Galio, which, we don't like the champion. I think it's a pussy champion, right? Like, to me, I'd much rather someone, like, actually, like, lane into me.
Mm.
So I locked Lucian, and I just couldn't carry the game hard enough. So we ended up losing. And that's, like, arguably, like, the biggest, like, blemish. Because if I had have just picked a better champion instead of the champion to ego the lane, right? Because
Yeah.
that champion has to win the laning phase,
Mm.
then I probably put my team in a better position to win the game.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. So basically, it's more of like a high risk, high reward situation. But
Yeah,
I think as times have changed. Like Lucian's a lot stronger now, in my opinion. Um, what do you call it? Apart from the E changes, I think back in the day, E used to cleanse like any slows.
yeah,
But nowadays, like a really good build is just Gale Force it to. You can go collect it, but I personally prefer Gale Force boots and then Serelda's. And then after Serelda's Rapid Fire Cannon. Like I see
yeah.
a lot of people build it in the LPL, and I think it's a really nice core to go with in games. like I think you can definitely carry if you have a good team around you.
Yeah, it's so nice when you got other pieces that know what they're doing,
Oh
right?
yeah, for
Like
sure.
I've again, I've been on so many rosters. Like
Yeah, no.
yeah, I've probably been on every single org that you just listed,
Uh-huh.
excluding Revolt, just because I don't like the head of Revolt because of some past history.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, respect is it's huge, but I'm of the opinion. I know how you said you don't like drama, right?
yeah.
Lying. I also don't like people who lie.
Mm,
I'm a firm believer of if you can say something privately, you better be able to handle it if it comes out like publicly.
yeah.
So in terms of like if you're willing to let's say let's say I call you shit, right?
Yeah.
If I say that to like a person and then it gets back to you, right? And then
Mm,
like you're mad about it, then it's like, well, I'm happy to be like, oh, yeah, I called you shit. Whereas I know people who they're like, no, I didn't say that, right? And it's just like they're not willing to stand on their own words on that.
yeah, I kind of get what you're trying to say. I feel like it also depends on like the context as well. Like if
Yeah,
someone says like people are gonna say, "Oh, this guy's shit" all the time. Like just let your gameplay do the talking. Don't react to that. It's a waste of your time and energy. But it's like if you're on like a roster and someone like blatantly lies to your face and gives you this false sense of hope that you're still in the team,
yeah,
and then behind your back just completely replaces you, obviously like you're gonna feel a bit shit because it's
yeah.
like you put so
Too
much
it's
time.
too facey, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly, and that's sort of what happened in that whole like revolt scene. I obviously said some things that I do regret as well. Did have a ban for like a bit, but like the biggest thing in that old it was just so toxic. I kind of stayed there for longer than I should have.
yeah,
But I think what the sad part was that that org used to be nothing. I put about 3 months of my time into helping get that org up and get players and have like the first ever team. And then it just kind of sucked to have that thrown in my face. Like I personally wouldn't have minded if like they said, hey, look, man, we're just getting someone else in place,
yeah,
and I'd be like, that's fair enough. But this is the way they went about it.
yeah,
I personally didn't like that. I don't know what they're like now. People change all the time, but I'm just speaking about my past experience with them.
yeah. I don't know. I can handle like being removed, right? Because again, it gets easier, and it adds more motivation, right?
Mm.
Like you talked about, how your losses help you motivate yourself to win. My
100%. Yeah.
Whenever I'm removed or like fail a trial or something along those lines, the next time I play that team or that org, it's arguably my best games.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just that whole idea of that revenge to like let
Yeah.
them make your statement and let them know that,
Like,
you made a mistake.
I remember. Do you remember Good Vibrations or Flame?
Flame is a familiar name, yes. Not too sure
Um,
about good vibrations.
well, he went by Flame and then changed it to Good Vibrations or
Ah, okay.
something.
Yeah.
Him and I were trialing for WKW.
Yep.
Now, I was honest with the coaching stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I said that I didn't respect one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I am very well aware you can't say that if you want to be on a team. And
Yeah.
so I did not get the spot, even though I had everybody in and around the team telling me the spot is yours, the spot is yours, right? And then like I got then told by not even someone on the team or like the coach around the team, I got told by an outside source that you know, oh they've picked him over you, which is like it is what it is. Would have liked a message from someone on the team or around the team, not like a bystander,
Yeah, you're gonna get
like
people like that from
like
time to
outside
time.
outside
Yeah.
counsel.
Mm.
However, the next time I played Flame in that mid lane, I it was Nico into Lucian,
Oh
and
yeah.
I dropped. He got solo killed 4 times in that laning phase.
Nice. Yeah.
Like,
Nico is a really good lane phase. That's what I loved about her when I used to play her so
yeah,
much.
yeah. So he got like blasted, and to me I wasn't looking for like vindication, but it kind of just showed, at least inside of the game, on that specific day, you know,
Yeah,
in my
I mean,
eyes, I
like,
was better.
yeah, for sure. Like at the end of the day, like you don't even have to waste your energy to make a statement to them. Like, just do it for yourself. Play
Yeah,
well, beat them. Feel good about yourself. Move on. Pick yourself up. That kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, man. The But nah, there's a lot of backstabby talk, especially in down in this elo. You know,
Yeah,
I
you're gonna have it anywhere you go. That's the thing. You just gotta like keep a positive mindset
yeah,
and like make sure you're around good people. Like
I
good
mean,
people that are gamers exist. Not everyone's cocky,
yeah.
so yeah.
I mean, fool me once, shame on me, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's very hard to like once you've been burnt, it's very hard to give that trust to the same people back again, right?
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that.
Um, like I've had some things happen where I probably will never speak to that org or that team like ever unless I truly have to. There's no communication on my end.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough, but there's always two sides to every story. Like for me personally, like if I was to dive deep into something, I'd like want to hear both sides. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
yeah, me too. It's also why I'm not asking for details on any of the revolt stuff. I've
Yeah.
heard stories about the other team that was at revolt, but again, it's not mine to share. That is
Mm.
your story, and you like to shy away from drama, so we're not gonna go into that.
Yeah, no, that like as I said, it was just what people can say what they want to do. I'm just sharing my perspective. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah, everything's opinion based, right?
Yeah.
Especially everything I say. Now, we alluded to this a little earlier, but
Uh-huh.
let's have a discussion on what makes a good team. I think we've both been on enough rosters now and around enough orgs to know exactly what we want in like teammates.
For sure. I think the biggest thing is it's not about being the best player. It's about people that trust each other and go in and make those plays. I think the biggest thing I've learned in teams is I've played on a team where people like single-handedly they're not that great,
Yeah,
but together we're probably better than people that are good
H together
single-handedly, if that
strong.
makes sense. Yeah, exactly. And like the biggest thing that I've noticed is having a plan, knowing how to draft a team, and having like a goal as well. So, for example, I don't know if like we have like a I don't know on top and say like a Lucian Nami bot lane, you'd obviously want to play towards bot lane because Ornn's
Yeah,
gonna scale anyways. He's tank duty, like just basic things like that, and understanding what your plan is and what you're gonna do makes like a big difference. The second thing would be, and this is just my personal opinion, uh, jungle basically should be controlling the early game, talking about his pathing, what he's looking to do, planning things in advance. So that's where like the lanes come into play. We're playing around the jungler, figuring out what he wants to do. And then as you get into like those mid game fights, personally, it's whoever's got the loudest voice or support should take over.
yeah,
And the biggest thing that I've noticed is calling your targets. Like I've played on so many teams where people just start team fighting, but no one talks. And it's just so all over the place. And that's where the team chemistry comes in. Like if you trust each other to go in and you fully commit, and you have targets being called as well, you're gonna win that fight, like no matter what.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's just my, I guess, two bits on what makes a good team.
yeah. I mean, I guess I may have a little bit of like different criteria. For
Yeah.
me, because I can be very brutally honest at times, especially if we've just lost a game where I don't think we should lose.
Mm.
Because I'm gonna get this is gonna sound bad, but I get clowned a lot when I lose games.
Mm.
Even if it's like if I'm playing a best of five and I lose one game in the series, I'm clowned for that one loss. It doesn't matter how the three go, but we're learning to move past actually caring what everybody thinks, but just mentally to myself, I think I need teammates who can handle some of the brutal honesty,
Mm.
right? So like I can't have teammates who just like break down if we're just talking about the truth. I think you have to be able to handle the criticism directly. Or if you're under a org, you need to be able to voice your concerns about the team to someone on either the coaching staff or the management side to
Mm.
then get it addressed to said player. But in
Yeah.
terms of building the chemistry and the trust, sometimes it should probably come from the other player.
Yeah, no, that's true. And that's something that comes with time as well. And that's what you do. Like it's better to just put your trust and go in than
Yeah.
be 50-50 and hesitant. Like also in regards to like coaches and stuff, this is again a personal opinion. I feel like if you're like below diamond, you don't personally need a coach. And the reason why I say that is because it's so much easier to just go back on games yourself and learn what you need to do. Like there's also YouTube as well. I don't know, maybe this is because like I've always self-learned a lot of things,
Yeah.
but coming from like a support main to going into mid lane, knowing nothing about it, to where I am now is literally just been from like games, learning, watching replays. I feel like if you have like a coach telling you what to do, you don't necessarily learn, if that makes sense. You
The
kind of
muscle
just
memory. You don't get the muscle
yeah,
memory of it.
you kind of just like blindly follow what they tell them. You don't really understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. But I feel like the reason why I say diamond and then above is because that's where you like you're getting into the higher elo aspect of it all, and that's where like you're going to LCS, LPL, LCK. It would make more sense because these are like veterans that have drafted so many things. They know the game inside out, and that's where like players
Yeah.
should follow because they have that experience.
Yeah.
But again, that's just a personal opinion. Some may agree, some may disagree, but I feel like if you're just below diamond, you can just self learn.
Yeah. I
If you're
feel
looking to
like
take your yeah,
yeah. Nah, I get that. But I think coaches are also kind of, they only get use of, I'm going to use the analogy, they have one hand tied behind their back,
mm,
especially down in low elo because people don't have the same champion pool diversity,
mm,
right? Like if you're, like let's say you pick up a mid laner, I'm using mid since we both play the example, like we both play
yeah,
the role, and the mid laner you pick up can only play Zed and Talon,
mm,
right? And it's like, what are you drafting? Like because either your mid laner is going to be a black hole because he can't actually play anything that's good in fives,
mm,
right? But then if you put him on those two champions, you're limited in compositions you can run because they don't fit different styles.
mm,
But in that scenario, to me, it then comes back to the teammate aspect of that player needs to take some responsibility and at least attempt to learn other champions, right?
mm,
For fives. Like
yeah,
if we go into a patch and a champion becomes super OP and we all know it's going to be OP, right? And
mm,
it's OP for like a month, and the player on my team like is not willing to even attempt to learn it. To me, that's a red flag.
yeah. I mean, that's fair enough as well. I think I can understand where you're coming from over there, and the general idea. I think that is something that I've learned as well is to have a diverse champ pool. For me personally, I think having a minimum of five plus extras, like five champions that you're proficient on,
Yeah,
and then you could have plenty others where you know how to play, but you could also put time into them.
certain matchups, right? Like something that's matchup
Exactly.
based.
Yeah, like for example, I don't know, say if you have like an AD mid laner, right? I have like a pocket pick that I have for tournaments to play into that. That I know I'll do well on because I'm confident and
Look,
like
mate,
I've played
Malphite's a shit champion, my guy. Please stop it.
it. Not Malphite, definitely not Malphite. But yeah,
Okay. Like, I'm assuming it's not Malphite either. I just, you said AD mids, and I'm like, Malphite's the funniest option of them to
yeah.
pull up.
Yeah, I mean, you can play so many different things. Like, just the standard ones are like, you can always pick like a Renekton or a set into like a Yasuo or Yone, and you'll do fine.
Vex. Vex is a
But
really good one.
not, I wouldn't. I think Vex is more of a. I don't really play her much. I don't really know too much about her. All I know is I think that's probably more of a skill matchup, and you got to keep your distance, right? Unless like they're really bad and they don't know
I
what they're doing.
think, as bad as it sounds, some matchups are they flip as you get higher elo in terms of
Yeah,
like who wins the matchup. But
yeah,
typically down here, it's the easier champion is gonna win the matchup unless you're that much proficient on your champion. So like you
yeah,
take a very high skill ceiling, like high skill floor champion like Yasuo, right, and
yeah.
you put it up against someone of Vex of like the same level. The Vex in theory should like never lose that lane just because of the level of execution is a lot lower on the Vex.
I mean, I can understand the point that you're saying, but in terms of the context, I think I disagree. I feel like it's more of a skill matchup. Like it's all dependent on the Yasuo win wall, and for Vex, it's the fear, right? So I feel like it could
Yeah,
go both ways. Yeah, but I get what you're trying to say, though. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
like the general idea, not the context, but yeah.
don't worry. At some point, I'm just gonna play Annie in Iron Plat.
No,
I
Addy's good
I
fun.
will straight up just pull out an Annie game. The next time I'm on stream, as long as someone like reminds me of this, I kid you not, I will play Annie.
Yeah, man, go
Just
for it.
just for fun. I'm look, if I lose the game, my team can be mad at me. But
Yeah.
I'll take that one on the chin.
Yeah, like I think Annie's the problem with Annie now. I think these days is just the range, but the
Yeah.
fact that you can just pick someone off, I think it works well in solo queue.
Yeah,
But there's obviously better champs. But I think and in on YouTube there's so many videos where like if you're starting to play League, especially starting mid lane, Annie's like a good pick. So
yeah. I know I've played into some like P4 Annies and it's obnoxious. At the same time, it's really easy to beat. But it's
hmm.
obnoxious at the same time because if you get caught, you die.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
because
Like
of
literally just pick based. If you're building a pick comp, she's perfect for it.
yeah.
But you gotta. I mean, you wouldn't really build it into like a ranged comp, would you?
Nah, you'd have to see bits of the comp. But
Yeah,
I'm a huge Silas enjoyer, so
yeah,
it's a really really fun champion.
yeah. I love Silas as well. I play a fair bit of him. Have you seen like the build that the guys do in LPL?
I
With
do not. I typically go Electrocute Ignite
okay,
QMax on Silas.
okay, that's interesting. I there's like this. So it's basically Night Harvester into Archangel Zhonya's, and then you just go straight Death Cap. I've seen a lot of guys play it in LPL, and
Yeah,
it's really good cooldown reduction and a shit ton of damage. So,
yeah. I just think the Q max, especially into like ranged matchups,
oh yeah, 100%.
you get
You
you
have
get
to max
the
Q,
wave
yeah,
clear.
yeah, for sure.
If you're playing into melee, conk plus W max is a much better option, but most people just don't expect the damage from the Q, especially if
Yeah,
they because for years Silas is like, oh, it's max W, it's you're getting the heal back, but you don't need a heal if you just pop them.
yeah, I mean that's true as well. But I think it really depends on the matchup because you can take so many different runes. You could still go conquer and do well. Um, you can also go electrocute if you're into a squishy team.
Yeah,
But another one that you can try, if you haven't already, is the I forgot what it's called. It's the first strike inspiration tree.
yeah,
If you're just looking to farm and you're into like a ranged matchup, you could even try that
yeah. I mean,
and to accelerate
it's a
your. And if you're
very
just
very
sitting and
versatile
farming,
champion.
for sure.
Right. So we're gonna move into talking specifically about your current team, and your plans for the future.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm playing on Kraken. Looking to stay. I think this is the longest team. This is probably the team that I've been on the longest.
Woo!
Yeah, happy days. Because the thing is, I feel like it's either people don't get along or one person leaves and then the team disbands.
Yeah.
But the thing I like about Kraken is they've been around since 2013. So like that they're gonna continue playing. Like they're a good bunch of people as well. For those of you who know Soul Elixir 7, super nice guy, too cool dude. He's
Arguably,
been yeah,
you know.
he's been doing a lot for Kraken. I think he was managing us at the time. He still kind of does. But I think he hit diamond, so I kind of just took on the role of just managing the team.
Wait, Soul hit
But
diamond,
yeah, so I think he's diamond 3 now, if
bro.
I'm not
Since
mistaken.
when?
I think this was like probably a month ago now.
Yo, who's
Ish.
boosting this man? I need to DM them.
He's been playing support. He's been doing well. Like he's good at his Leona. Like I think all the time he always talks about his rank on Leona and OC. I think he was like rank 6 or something last time I checked. But good on him. But basically, what happened after that was I started like managing the team. I've got a good synergy with my jungler. Super nice guy.
Is that Amit?
We Yeah, that's the one. He had a bit of history with Revolt as well, so I feel like we kind of bonded over that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is always
Um,
good.
yeah, so we definitely got that good synergy through mid jungle, which is important. As per our bot lane, we now have Golden Features, aka the babysitter, if people have heard of him. And
Used
then
to
we've
be good
also
at the
got
game. Yeah, continue.
yes, so him. So you got him, Sheep, for our bot lane at the moment. So, and then top lane was Fang, but he's also hit diamond. So at the moment, we're kind of just in the process of re-rostering, getting a new top laner. Um, but once we find a top laner, our team will basically be complete, and we will be good to go and enter some tournaments. So yeah,
Yeah, you just need tournaments to enter.
that's the thing. I think there's the crew cup going on at the moment, which we missed because of our roster
Look,
shuffle.
I am gonna save that drama for another time, right? Because I know you don't want to be a part of that kind of stuff, but it's a bit of a shit show.
I mean, like, there's everything going on. Everything's a shit show, man.
Yeah,
It just depends on like the people that are there. But all I
yeah.
remember is just general chat, people going off, and then I muted it, and that was about it.
Look, man. The only thing I'm gonna say on that is it's funny how everyone defends it if it's not happening to you, right? There's no,
Mm.
that's something you learn once you like step back and actually take a look at things.
Yeah,
You know?
my thing is everyone's different. There's so many different players, people, personalities. There's gonna be a clash that's gonna happen at some point. So, yeah.
Yeah, clashes
But
tonight.
yeah, speaking of, looking to try out a top laner. Happy days. We'll see how we go.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I miss trialing people. It's fun because like you, I don't know. There's like a little bit of pressure when you trial, so it's like makes you like play a little bit better.
Because everyone's judging you, yeah. Sometimes it can even put more pressure on you.
Yeah,
But I guess that's where you need to show and improve yourself. But usually it's good to have like a few games to get a vibe.
yeah,
For me, I'm not too phased if you're not like the best player. It's more like how you fit into our team. But obviously like mechanics and just having a general understanding of the game so you do fit in is important.
yeah.
Like, and it also depends on like what our game plans are and whatnot. So yeah, there's that. Like a lot of the times we just like Feng, like he was probably arguably probably one of the best top laners that I've come across in my time. Um, but obviously since he's at Diamond, we gotta find a new player. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
gotta cycle into someone else.
yeah.
Yeah, I
People
mean,
come and go, but hopefully the team does stay. Like I'm definitely looking to stay. As far as I'm aware, I know Ahmed's looking to stay. We've had the new addition of the bot lane.
yeah.
They used to play for Kraken in the past, so they've come back as well. We just need that top laner, and we're good to go for tournaments. But slowly
And
practicing.
someone has to run a tournament. Yeah,
Yeah, eventually. Otherwise, we can just continue with scrims. Like the main thing is to just build and grow as a team, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, right? Because Clash is I think it's kind of shit. Like
I feel like scrims are probably the best in my opinion, and then tournaments is like when you have the real, that's like the
the
real
real
deal, putting
test, yeah.
everything in. Yeah.
But I don't know. I remember back in the days of like ranked fives. So
Mm.
not like flex queue or like you could queue up with anyone and it's like your normal ranks thing, but where you actually created a team on the league client and like you could rank that team. Like this is going back like 2014, 2015. With the old
Okay.
client. It
Yeah.
was it was like so they removed it and then they added flex queue.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was the biggest mistake because it was just so much better than flex queue is because you
Mm.
must have 5 players, right? And you can only queue when you have those 5 players.
Yeah, I feel like with the three, it's kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't put like personally want to play with two other randoms because you like you don't know what they're like, how they're gonna play. If it's a norm, it's fine, but like when you're playing flex, like
And the
I
queue
don't know,
takes forever.
yeah, probably the biggest factor.
Like, cause it's like if you play a 5 stack at this time or even like 2 p.m., like those games are near instant queue pop.
Yeah, I guess it does depend on the time of day as well. Towards the
Um,
nighttime, you'll probably just get the same team again and again anyway. So
yeah, and then they'll stop queuing because I've lost so many times,
yeah.
because we don't lose games. uh, right. So just to rehash, your plan is get new top laner, scrim into tournament, and go from there.
Yeah, basically, like I'm pretty happy with our team so far. We'll get along well. We have synergy. It's just about finding that missing piece now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta find someone who fits, right?
Yep. But I think the thing is with top lane is it's hard to find good top laners just because I think whenever I've come across a top lane in the past, the like you have your team and then you've got this isolated top laner both personality wise and gameplay wise just because it's just a solo queue habit.
Yeah.
um but we'll have to
Plus
see
those
what happens.
goddamn Fiora mains. Those Riven Fiora 2 tricks. Like
Yeah.
my guy, you have to learn to play Malphite and Oriana, not Oriana, and Volibear and stuff. Top lane.
Hmm.
Those are the best top lane champs.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like you have like the best champs, and then you just have champs that are comfort.
Yeah,
Like I feel like for someone that plays like a champion that's out of meta, but they're really comfortable on versus forcing someone onto a insert quotation marks meta champ, the comfort player will do a lot better. So that also like plays a factor too. But yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's very hard when it comes to that.
Hmm.
But every champion's comfort if you're good at the game. Smile.
Yeah, pretty much. Happy days.
Right. So I'd like to thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for
Is
having me.
there is there anything you want to say? Any trash talk you want to lay at people?
Um, I'm not really one to trash talk, to be honest. I don't really have anything to say other than just um keep on playing. Hopefully, we're looking forward to scrimming new teams in the future. And I think the biggest thing is hopefully looking to enter tournaments soon, if
Yeah.
and when one does come up. It's been a while, so it'd be nice to get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, thanks for having me.
Look, man, just keep on cracking a cold one.
That's the one.